All right. This is going to be very interesting.
Watch this. It's a lot more pain-free than you think. So we're already live on YouTube and my little thing. But wait 1 minute, and then we'll do this. See? We won't even see it. So, come on. Bada bing. Shada boom. And then, see how pain-free? And then we'll do one of these. Cristy B. With me.
Yeah.
Looking like a movie star. You really are.
Thank you.
Sorry about yesterday.
Oh, no. That
was like my first reschedule ever.
It's all right. It's me. I'm like the most easygoing person
I was
ever.
like, can we do tomorrow?
It's actually better for me today.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did you get your gym in?
I didn't.
You didn't?
No, I did not.
Oh, I thought you were gymming it.
I've already done my monthly workout, but I'll try. I'll try again.
Okay, so here we go. For those that know her, Cristy B, super famous in this area. So if you don't know who she is, then enjoy the show. But if you do know, then you're going to love it that much more. You are like a pioneer in the comedy world.
Yeah.
You started this comedy business, and I'm very proud of you. And not only are you just amazing and funny yourself, but you are helping other comedians and people get their way and entertain. And so that's kind of, did I do good? Is that kind of, what has it been? 2 years you've been doing the Cristy B comedy?
No, actually, well,
a year-ish?
At Breakaways, we are celebrating our 3rd year anniversary.
3rd year, yes.
July 13th will be our 3rd anniversary. So this is very weird for me. I'll give me a minute. I'm used to having an audience, so I can see who's
Camille
seeing me.
Camille
can you come in here and watch, please? So we're having our 3rd anniversary. So in July, we're going to do 2 shows.
Okay.
Breakaways, we are last Wednesdays of every month.
Okay.
And we have been consistent every month last Wednesday for 3 years now.
I love it.
So I will not be at the June show.
Okay.
I will be in Vegas.
Ooh.
So back to Vegas I go. So that's another story there. So I'm going to work. I'm going to be doing some shows, a show with Jill Kimmel.
Okay.
And
I've seen the advertisements for that. I love it. You're like, not this Kimmel, this Kimmel.
I know, right?
I know.
So I'm going to be doing that with her and then meeting some comedians that I can book to bring here to Flagler to entertain us.
Okay.
So,
well, let's, I'd like to do this even on a personal note when we run into each other, but chronologically, when I first met you, you hadn't had this yet because we've known each other for a hot minute, but how did you start to get this? Where did this fever become? You couldn't kick it where you're like, I'm doing this.
Okay.
Remember, you got to keep this.
Okay. Testing 1, 2. Okay.
Or we're going to get in big trouble.
Okay.
Our listeners now. Boom. Perfect. So yeah, how did you got this fever? Because remember when we like first met was like Turtle Shack Friday afternoons. Mm-hmm. You had your woman pack. I had my boy pack.
My woman pack, yeah.
We crossed paths.
Yep.
And I didn't ever know you were kind of pretty chill about it. You didn't really.
I started, it was my therapy. It was fun for me.
Okay.
So I started out just something on my bucket list. This is something I've always wanted to do. I wanted to do it for 20 years before the first time. Actually, Today is the 8th year anniversary of it's either the first day that I ever appeared on stage or the first time I ever bombed. I'm not sure. They were very close together.
8 years ago?
8 years ago. So
can we tangent it and go there with it? Where are we? 8 years ago. Where did we bomb?
8 years ago. The first time I got up, I didn't bomb.
Okay.
I killed it. And I was like, I can't wait to do this again. That was awesome. I was going through a divorce.
Okay.
And I was scared. My children were young. I mean,
where are we?
Very young. Where are we? We're here. I'm already here. Okay. I'm already here. I've made it. I'm about to celebrate 10 years here in Flagler.
Okay.
So,
you're fresh though. You're like 2 years in.
2 years in.
Where are we at? Where's the show?
I went to Atlanta. A show. I went to, it's called The Punchline in Roswell. It was on Roswell Road because I used to live right down the road. So I would go in there, single woman. I lived right down the road. I'd get off work at the steakhouse and I would go. They'd just be like, go on in, Cristy. Right. Sit at the bar, have a couple drinks, get something to eat and watch the show. And I kept saying, I see myself on that stage one day. One day I'm going to do this. One day I'm going to have the nerve. And it took something scary, like going through a divorce with 3 children, to say, you know what, I'm going to do something. If I can do that, then I can do what I'm about to do. So I called and told her my story. And she said, we normally don't put people up the first time on this stage, but I'm going to give you a shot. I'll give you 4 minutes. 4 minutes. So I practiced. I was actually at that time, I was driving the beverage cart at Hammock Beach Resort. So I'm on the golf course. I'm writing jokes. I'm just driving around the golf course and talking to myself. I'm practicing. I'm like, man, these people are out by their pool and I'm driving around the corner. Make it like whatever. I worked on it. I knew exactly. I practiced with my friends. I had a dress rehearsal, invited them over, drove to Georgia and have a lot of friends in Georgia. And I had about 35, 40 people come out to support me.
Wow.
Killed it. I was so high off my 4 minutes, I nailed every joke, and you get that first laugh, and it was incredible. And I got my confidence back, and I was like, I love that. But it was just for me. At this point, I didn't see a career in it. I wasn't trying to make a career out of it. It was just for something that I like to do. 3.5 months later, I called him back. I said, hey, I'm ready to do it again. Like, all right, I'll give you 7 minutes. Drove to Georgia. I was a little cocky this time because I thought I had it. I was celebrating, had a couple too many drinks, get on stage, lights. I froze. I was like, I bombed. I looked over and I saw one of my friends there, Aisha. Hi, if you're watching. And she was like,
you could tell.
I know. And I looked around and I saw people that I know, and I was like, oh my gosh, what have I done? What am I doing? I had too much to drink. And so I found myself, I got a couple of jokes in there, but I got off stage and I said, I'll never do it again. It was it. I was like, I give up. I can't believe it. So it was about a year before.
Did you last the whole 7 minutes?
I don't know. I don't know. They light you at a certain point. I think I just got in there. I got a couple of jokes, but it was ugly. It was ugly. And they're like, hey, we videotaped you, Jack, for us to send it to you. I said,
delete it.
No, I got the first one. But so it took me about a year. And then the next time I got on stage, like all my friends here in Florida were like, why are you driving to Georgia to do that? I hear there's a competition in St. Augustine. Jackie Knight. I know you're watching Jackie Knight. I love you. The Gypsy Cab, corner bar, Jackie Knight's Comedy Club. She was having a competition. I was like, all right, I'm ready. You
needed about a year to lick these wounds, though.
Well, there was a lot going on.
Well, yeah,
so yes, but I was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But then I thought, I'm not going out like that. Mm-mm. It was so wonderful when I got it right the first time.
Right.
And then I realized where I made my mistakes, and I was like, all right, it's time. I'm going to get back up there. And I'm going to practice, get it down pat. Again, this time it was a competition. It was my first competition. And I think we had 5 minutes. I had 65 friends come out to watch me for 5 minutes. And there were very few contestants. There were only maybe 75 in the joint. So it's audience participation. Hey, I won. Surprise.
I own this.
I know,
this
but I did a great job. I knew, again, I knew I had it in me.
Right.
I knew I practiced. I know how to deliver the jokes. And so I got up there. From there, where it started, I was working at Tortugas, which was Fuego del Mar.
Yep.
That's where I started as a comedy booker.
Okay.
Nick Kimball.
Never heard of him.
Nick Kimball.
Never heard of him. I'm just kidding.
Okay. So, hey, Nick. So he started out, I was bartending there, and he got all the bartenders together, and he's like, all right, does anybody have anything they want to bring to the table? It was a new place. It was a new facility. Right. What do you want to do here? And I said, I'd like to try to do a comedy night. He said, he doesn't think much. He just says, so he's like, do it. Okay. How's Wednesday night? And it was like Friday. And I was like this Wednesday. And I was like, let's try next Wednesday. And so, not having any clue how to put on a comedy show, he's like, here's your budget, go for it. And so
were you on the list, or you were just booking talent at that point? Like, were you on the actual talent?
Well, I was hosting.
You were gonna
I
host
woid
it.
host the
Okay.
shows.
So this was your first of many to come where you're like, were you branding it at Cristy B Comedy at that point?
I started out just, I
Okay.
said I want to call it Cristy B Comedy.
Okay.
The first time I ever went on stage in Georgia, she said, how do you want me to announce you? And I was like, Cristy B. And she's like, well, what's your last name? And I was like, Barrick. And she's like, well, I suggest you go with your name. And I was like, no one cares. Like, I mean, I'm going there for 4 minutes. Like, no one is going to remember my last name. Just Cristy B. That's it. I mean, that's easier to remember anyway, if you want to remember me. So I've been Cristy B for about 25 years at another story. So it worked. So yeah, he's like, all right, let's make it Cristy B Comedy. And that's where it started. I called Jackie Knight and I was like, Jackie, I just somehow talked myself into this position and I have no idea what I'm doing because I don't have anybody to follow in their footsteps. I don't have anybody, sorry about that. Okay. I don't have anybody to call and say, what do I do here? I have literally been just winging it, figuring it out as I go along. It was just this year, 2019, I decided I'm going to put everything I have into this because I've been doing it just, I don't want to say half-assed because my heart is in it, but I haven't put everything I have into it yet to see how far to go. So this is the year, everything I can do.
I got to tell you though, not to interrupt you, but knowing you before, well, I guess this has always been kind of your passion / hobby, but knowing you before I didn't know you haven't done anything half-assed. It's just tough. You're a working mother. You got 3 kids? 3 kids.
I have teens.
I'm only aware. I think I've only met your oldest daughter then. She's sometimes in the mix once in a while. I may see it.
Yeah, they're all.
But I mean, you're working, you're a mom, and you're a single mom. I mean, that's not easy.
It's not
like
easy.
I said, for what you are putting into like your business, basically what it is, I think you're doing fantastic.
Thank
you.
I
think the people that are watching this and your fans and those that you've helped out, you know, those people that it's a really interesting dynamic of a business because you're the host, you're also talent yourself, but a lot of these people don't have a platform and venues and the know-how to contact. Like, you can call pretty much any venue in this town and they're probably going to listen to you and get it done versus like, hi, can you? It's like, all right, this is the day, this is the time. Can you get it done? They already know the crowd you're bringing, etc. So anyways, I high five you. I think you're doing fantastic.
I'm trying.
So now, the photo that I used for your thing today, that was a fantastic photo.
Thank you.
That was recent. You had went to Vegas.
No.
Where is that?
That was the Improv in Orlando.
Okay.
So that was a big moment for me. I was hosting a show there. Sareth Nay, thank you. I know you're watching. He's going to want me to plug my my interview with acutiepie.com where I was completely wasted and I had no business. I was like, you're putting this on the what? You know? And he's like, oh, it's just an interview. And I looked at it and I was like, oh.
How did he get you tipsy in the hipsy? Where was this?
It was at Jackie Knight's Comedy Club again. Okay. And I was there supporting Michelle Keith, who I got into comedy. I love her too. And she's doing great. I'm very excited watching her because I pushed her on stage for the first time. She fell in love with it.
I remember when she was on your list for that night. That was at Breaks, wasn't it? Wasn't her first?
No. Well, that was her first time hosting. Yeah, okay. That was about a year ago, I think, that I got her on there. But I've done 3 Cristy B Comedy competitions. The first one that I did, I went to different venues on different nights, and I ran it for about 6 weeks. And this particular night that Michelle got up was at Finn's upstairs.
Oh, it was Finn's.
And I was like, again, it was my first competition. Right. I have no one saying, okay, here's what you do and here's how to do this. It's just like, all right, I'm doing a competition. I call my comedy friends and try to book them, but I had no one show up. I was like people were there, but no one was showing up to get on stage. And
your actual talent didn't show?
Yes. Oh. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? I was like, Michelle, and we've been talking about this. I was like, I got $50. I mean, somebody's got to win. You got to get up there. And she's like, you know what? I'll just do it.
That's how she did it.
She
just
got up.
like
No,
that?
no, not just like that. No, we've been talking
no,
about
I
it. She'd been
know.
doing some writing, and she was
But she had
thinking
no
about it.
idea she was going up that night. That's
I was like, "It's this time.
cojones.
Get up
God
there
bless
and
you,
do
Michelle.
it." So yeah, she did. And then
what's the normal like set?
Excuse me.
Is it 5 to 10 minutes a normal set? Like what in a competition based type of thing?
In a competition,
5-10-ish?
Yeah, 5 to 10.
Okay.
Yep.
Which it's funny because it lasts. I can imagine it's a lifetime once you're up there and those lights are on and people are looking at you.
I think over the course of since then I've had 3 Cristy B comedy competitions. One just most recent that we'll get to, but I think over the course of all 3 of the competitions, I've had probably about 12 people get up for the very first time on a stage that I've provided for them.
That's got to make you feel pretty good.
Some of them continue going on. Some of them were sitting there like,
never again.
It was, you know,
I'm sure you
give
would
up or just
testify to the fact that if you have to bomb, right? For the
you have to.
The comedians that I follow in that genre of, it's like if you haven't bombed yet and or multiple times, you're not really.
Well, you're lying to yourself if you say I haven't bombed.
So I guess
yet.
you're giving them that opportunity to either succeed and fall in love with it or get the bomb out of the way and keep trucking it.
Yeah, or maybe that's just not your thing. I don't know. It's just some maybe not, but no. Everybody. The thing about it is have a good time.
Right.
You know, make sure the crowd is having a good time. That is honestly one of the biggest highs, I guess I could say again, that I've ever received as far as personally something that I'm doing. Like if I get on stage and the moment you walk off stage, when you know you've killed it,
euphoric.
You can't.
Do you ever mid-show I'm sure you have, but if you're feeling the crowd, have you ever just like flipped the script and gone off or do you kind of, like you said, you can't say bomb on an airplane and you said the bomb. I don't know. You know what I mean? You didn't know the crowd you were involved with and you kind of were like, okay. And you had another 2-3 of those.
Well, I'm more of I'm scripted. Okay. I write my material and I pretty much know what I'm going to say. Over the years, I have gotten a little bit more ballsy, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I might there's a couple parts in my set where I ask a question and then I'm like, I'm really not asking a question. It's just part of what would you, and I'm like, oh, people started yelling out answers. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to kind of I have to respond. I have to. And so then it's like, my crowd work. Right. That's what I have to work on. I would rather get up and just everybody laugh and shut up. Okay. I don't want to do this. Okay. Because this is weird. This is weird to me. Having stuff recorded where you'd be like, oh my gosh, don't say it. Don't say, oh my gosh, I said it. When I'm on stage, no one's recording. It's live. If I say something off the wall, you're going to forget about it tomorrow. Right. If I say something off the wall now, they're going to be like, oh, I saw you on, and I'm not. That's why. Are you,
as you're succeeding in this genre, and most like the big dog guys that they don't allow the recording anymore? Does it if you see someone in the crowd that is the whole time?
I ask them to stop.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Awesome. Just because of the fact that it's kind of what you're saying is, I mean, that's what all comedians have somewhat of their own Bible of what they're for that series of shows they're doing. So you don't want them to post it and then it's like.
I want to post my material on my own time.
Right.
Some I realize I've been doing this for 8 years now. Some of these jokes I started with, I've worked on and worked on and worked on, and they've grown grown into a story. I've been working on my Netflix special, and after my Netflix, after it airs, I can't tell these jokes anymore. Right. So, and that is airing. I'm just kidding.
We could have went with it.
I know we should. The HBO, they've been on me. They've been asking, and I'm like, I'm holding out for Netflix.
Well, didn't Adam Sandler come over last night?
Well, next month. He's going to be in town next month. Yes.
So. Well, he did the SNL thing. You had reached out to him. He's going to come by.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing experience. What a great
Well, I'm going to
friend.
meet him in Vegas too. So,
that's nice.
Yes. And then
are you sleeping over again, or?
No. It's never like that. No, it's not like that with Adam. I don't know where you would hear anything like that. He's married, isn't he? Married.
Anybody that just started listening is like, damn, she's hooking up with Adam Sandler.
No.
But I think it's amazing that. So I think it's amazing. So you tell them in the beginning of the show, don't record. Like,
I try to do that.
You better mute that.
I'm
You're gonna
sorry,
make people a lot of angry pants.
I have to use my.
It's just easy peasy on the side.
I'm just gonna.
Look at you.
It is.
For those that, you're turning off. You don't
I'm
have to go off. You're a mom. I don't know. All right, you are off.
They're in school.
Can I?
So they can call
you
their
walk
dad.
up.
What's that?
When you walked up today, well, not only you look like a movie star, but you walk up, and for those that can't see it, but you have this calendar.
It's my
I'll
show it. I don't mind. I'm not
calendar.
ashamed of it.
The desk calendar.
Desktop, right? I went to a meeting the other day, and I was like, crap, I haven't, put everything over. I'm trying to use the phone. I'm not good with technology. You know that.
I know you're not.
You know that.
I know.
I should tell my story about when you told me about Chinzo's working on my website, which is going to be up shortly.
It's all contingent on you at this point.
Well, now I've moved it over to Kayla now, so it will be shortly. I know. So Kayla, I was walking into a meeting with her, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I got to get a picture of this." I'm walking in with my
the calendar,
desktop calendar. Desktop, is that what you call it?
Sure. This is great.
I do. I'll be in my room, or I'll
you
be
almost
somewhere
didn't
else.
Fit in the door with your desktop calendar. And then
I'll tell my
really
kids
almost
sometimes,
wish
I'll be
people
like,
could see
go grab
it,
my calendar. It's probably on my bed. Like I do a lot of work.
Does this thing really go with you everywhere?
No, not everywhere. It normally stays at home, but I had some notes and I needed to.
You got a lot of notes on there. Shout out to Swillerbees, because Swillerbees is the first thing on there. Am I on there? Am I like go to Chenzo's house? Am I like?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes me feel special. I'm on there.
I've got some things for you. So I just want to make sure that
There's no way you're missing your account. You're not misplacing that either.
I'm not going to misplace it.
And if somebody finds it, I think they're going to probably find the rightful owner too. They don't even want that.
Well, here's the thing. I have comedians that are messaging me from all over. The word's getting out that they may have a show in Orlando on Friday night, but I can put them up somewhere Thursday or Wednesday. So as they're passing through, which is the guy that I have coming through.
I think that's what you were getting texts as soon as you came in, and it was like 9 something.
Yes, I'm going to be doing hosting with Jackie Knight. So next month.
Now let me ask you this though: Are you able to like? That's got to be a huge business opportunity in itself, where you're becoming like whatever that's called, like the booking agent / I mean, you're almost their, what do they call them when you have some, like your publicist or your rep, your manager, your booking agent? I don't know. You're kind of you're a booker. You're filling that void. Are you, as you grow, or do you think you're able to kind of charge for that service? Because that's a lot of help you're giving them. Like the organization in this, or is it more? This is out of love right now, right?
Yeah, I can't. I'm giving them an opportunity. I'm giving them a place to work.
Okay.
I can't charge them for that. I'm not helping them. They're also helping me. I'm giving them a room to work.
It's a mutual
and a place. Yeah. There's nothing. I'm not like promoting them.
Right.
Helping them out. I hope. I would like to think that.
Like you said, people are starting to realize the value that you bring, not only as like a friend, but a resource in the communication department. I bet you, like I said, you could call pretty much any venue in Flagler right now, and you know who the owners are. You don't have to deal with any red tape, this day, this time. And once again, they understand the value. I would say, correct me if I'm wrong, but like 2 of your biggest venues that I see getting really good exposure is Beachfront Grill, right?
Love working with Jamie at Beachfront Grill. Yes.
And then I would say you always Breaks is packed whenever you do your thing there.
Breakaways is a different kind of venue.
It's a tougher venue.
That's my baby there, because that's
began.
My longest consistent venue. It's also on a Wednesday. So if I'm getting 60 people to come to a comedy show on Wednesdays, but it's also a free comedy show. This month it's not. So right now, transitioning my business into where all of these shows, the venues have been paying several $100s to hire me to hire the comedians to put on the show. So now I'm trying to transition over to I'm trying to make the venues money as well.
Right.
So I'm bringing all these people in that are going to laugh and have a good time, and they're going to come back because they've laughed and they've had a good time at your place. But I'm trying to make them money. If they have to pay several $100s for the show, I feel like I'm taking that away from them. So $10 a ticket. Mm-hmm. Now that's paying for the show. Everybody's getting paid, and you're making money. So every 2 to 3 months now at Breakaways on the Wednesday night. It is going to be a paid show. The guy, Michael Harrison, I have coming in from LA this month. Very funny. He's kind of a clean comic and he's really cute. He's so cute.
Cutie pie.
I mean, he sent me a message and he was like, I got your information from another comedian that I've booked.
Nice.
So they're traveling and they're like, okay, you can check out Cristy B in Florida. So I was like, he just sent me a message and I was like, okay, just send me here's the slang talk. I'm like, send me your bio and clip. I'll take a look at it. I'll get back to you when I get to my big ass calendar, you know? And that's what I always say. I was like, make sure that you message me again when I get back to my calendar.
Right.
So they know. I mean, I don't remember everything.
Right.
So if I'm talking to a comedian, they're like, hey, do you have anything in October? I'm going to be passing through. I'm like, hey, message me tonight. I'll be around my calendar. So now they're starting to get it. Like, why didn't she just look at her phone? No, no. If it's
There's
not on my calendar.
There's a lot of conditioning getting to know you digitally. You know that. Like even today, I knew that sending a text message to your phone was like sending a pigeon. I knew that wasn't going to get to you really quick. So sometimes
that's the best way to reach me.
Well, I know sometimes too that it's got to be. So I think I did the phone call. Did I do the phone call today or just text? You're really fast in the Facebook Messenger. I don't know what you do.
Facebook and texting.
So
yes,
you need to get a hold of Cristy B.
Like,
Facebook message her. You
the
are
look on my face sometimes when people call. It's like,
well, let's go. Let's have some fun with it real quick. Let's talk about the peen department. Are you being inundated with a lot of boys that are just using this now as like a segue of like, hey, like
the what department?
Peen.
The what?
PP.
What does that mean? What do you
ever heard me use the word peen? It's like it's like, you know, the intake boys.
What? Oh, you want?
It's a slang for penis.
Are we going to talk about penises right now?
We absolutely are.
Are we allowed to do that?
100%.
You want to talk about penises in my life right now?
I'm talking about boys that are using the business as a segue or a catalyst to like get in touch with you now. Like even if they're not
no,
you're not getting that. Good. That's why I'm asking you. I don't want specifics. I don't want names. You know this.
We've
done this before.
No, I don't know.
We've talked about it, but I don't want names. I don't want to know who they are.
Well, you're never going to get that. I mean,
I never want names for all those.
Edit this. You want to pause for a second, then we can talk. But no, I don't think. I don't think you're comedians are messaging me for.
I'm saying they don't even have to be.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Well, I got to spoon feed you here. I'm saying like you're just seeing people message you, and they're using this as like a way. You're obviously being more seen digitally and even in person. So I'm saying, have you seen an increase in these boys and these men trying to approach you? Like you're seeing that. It has to. It's pretty. Yeah.
Maybe I'm just out of the loop. Right? I'm not noticing that at
You're not.
all. No.
You just.
No. Maybe after this podcast, maybe that was them on my phone. I just turned my phone off. Maybe I should turn it back on. I don't know. I don't know. That part of my life, I'm not even.
Okay.
The last part of my focus at this point.
Well, I know it's the last part of your focus, but it's something that you're obviously dealing with and have. So I'm proud of you.
I'm very professional with my comedians.
I know you are. Once again, it doesn't even have to be comedians, but I know there's a lot of boys hunting for you.
Well,
you're
not all of us have found our one in a chameleon like you.
Ooh, that was good.
I've been waiting 2 weeks to say that. I love her. Hey, Camille.
When you walked in and you go, smell me.
Smell me. I know. I have her be happy on.
That makes her so happy.
It makes me happy.
You know, when you're saying you like recharge when someone says, when you see the crowd laughing and you leave, it's the same effect that I'm having. Like I get one phone call or one text from the show and they're like, dude, amazing. And it's not even me, it's the talent, it's this and same feeling. And it's for her like oils and her little holistic outlook on life. That I mean, when you walked out, because remember what did you forget? Your jacket.
My jacket.
You walked out to get your jacket and she was like, oh my God.
I know.
Made her so happy.
Marissa also at the Indigo Door. So I was there and
I miss her. Where is she?
I know you need to have her on here.
Well, she's been riding really under the radar lately.
Yeah. Well, she's started a business.
I know.
So she's,
You know I'm greedy.
I know.
I miss her.
I know. Me too.
I miss bumping into her. I actually miss that little pack you guys had.
I know. Well, we still have it, but we are, the thing about our strong woman pack is we are all so different, like so different. And I love that because when we get together, it's, I saw a movie on Netflix the other night. I watched Wine Country and I meant to tell my girls.
Flick?
Of course.
Or was this your special?
No, it was a chick flick. I'm promoting Netflix. You think they'll hear 100%. This? So seriously,
Probably trying to call you right now.
I've polished my set. I'm ready for my Netflix
Could you do
special.
45 minutes to an hour?
No, I'm most comfortable at 30.
You have 30 minutes of material?
I have
God bless.
40. I have 45, but I'm only funny for about 38, you know?
Okay.
So, I mean, the other time I'm just up there like
drinking some water.
Hey, you know, did your wife dress you? Is that, you know, where are you from? What do you do?
That's a lot of material.
It is. I've been working, it's 8 years. It better be.
Wow.
But here's the thing right now, I've actually hit a part where I'm not writing. So all these jokes, which I feel I have mastered, and I love them. I love them. If you've never heard my set and you hear it for the first time, you're like, wow, she's really funny. But I did my set at one of the shows the other day, and a girl came up, and she's heard the joke a couple of times. She said, I feel like you kind of dragged that one out a little bit. And I was like, you think maybe it's because you've heard it 18 times? She's like, oh, probably. But because I was like, excuse me, I was like, I actually shortened it. You know, I was trying to get to the punchline a little bit faster, but I have been working on this set for so long. I actually don't perform here in Flagler anymore. When I host, actually, I don't even really host much anymore. I'll get up and I'll say, thank you for coming. I tell everybody how they can find me on social media. And then I'm like, here's your host. And I sit back and enjoy the show because I'm doing so many different things with comedy. Like my personal career is kind of taking a backstage right now. So
we don't want that.
No, I don't. And I'm going to Devin Siebold, who he does a podcast on Real Radio in Orlando. I'm going to have him at Crossroads Tavern next month. So he's does a writing class, and I signed up for that next week, I think. So I'm going to go just to try to get some ideas. I need to get that back in my life. I've been really busy. I wrote a new joke last month, and it was about my girls and my girlfriends and stuff. So they got to come out. It was about the girl pack. It didn't really happen. And so when I started telling the joke, I looked out there and they're like, what is she saying?
Too close to home.
What is she saying? They got it. Excuse me.
Have you, this is all new for me as like this, the little podcast, and I'm starting to get a lot of feedback, and it's interesting because I'm always receptive, but it does, you know, like I've had a few like things said to me in private, just like, ultimately I always listen because they're listening and they're watching. But how have you, I don't want to say perfected, but how do you digest it when someone says something like that's kind of ultimately just weird? And I don't want to say exactly what.
Negative?
Yeah, I guess it could be a little negative sometimes. Not all of it. And trust me, I'm not getting that many, but I do get some from people sometimes. And it's like, why would you say that? Hurts a little? But I of course address it. I don't say like, hey, go, F yourself. I'm receptive. I actually sometimes, most of the time, implement it to some capacity because they are listening and I love it. Now, I'm not talking about fun stuff. So for instance, see the jersey over there?
Yeah, I was going to ask about
I do that because I have a friend of mine who I've known for many, many moons. Now, there's like multiple degrees of friends, all of us. This friend of mine will always be very dear to me because we've always played soccer together. So we've known each other for many moons. And he said, Jensen, you got to have like a jersey or something back then. I said, after the third umpteenth time, whatever he asked me, I said, fine, I'll just do it. Because he is listening, he's watching. I thought,
today is your day. What's
I
his
did
name?
it. It's Shevchenko, Alex.
Shevchenko.
Well, that's his soccer name. Okay. But anyways, I'm doing it for him. But those things are fun. Like, I don't mind doing that. That's fun. And those that know me know that I'm not charging for this. I'm not making any money out of this. So those kinds of things are fun to me. But then you get some people that are like, say some things. So my question to you would be, if you do get some weird, and I'm going to classify them as weird.
But haters.
Yeah.
They can be haters. It's all right.
But do you nod and say, okay, thank you? Or do you go, hey man, or gal, being weird? What do you do?
I'm going to be honest with you. It hurts for about a minute.
It stings.
You just swipe left on it and just keep going. It is. You take it in. Hey, maybe it's constructive criticism. Yeah. I don't know. Or maybe they're just a hater. I don't.
But do you say anything? Have you ever, like if someone comes up, they're like, it was a little.
You know what? Here's the thing. If somebody comes up and they're like, then it probably was. Oh. I feel, I've had a couple, I rate my own shows. Like I sit back and I'm like, Oh my gosh, I can tell. I can see in the back if I can hear them, of course, but I can see, their shoulders. I can see throwing their heads back, and that is what I take on the show. So I rate them. Sometimes I'm like, that was a decent 5, and then sometimes I'm like, wow. I mean, they can't wait for this comedian to come back. He killed it, or she killed it, and it was a great night. So if somebody comes up and they're like, usually people will come up and they'll be like, well, the first guy, he was all right. The second guy, not so good. But the last guy, I'm like, okay. Usually I might have a guest spot in there. And when I throw a guest spot in there, then it's someone that's working. They're trying. They're not getting paid. I'm like, you want 5 minutes? Right. And they're new in the business, but they get to say, oh, I'm going on a show. I've got a gig. So that's a guest spot. I have a lot of really strong guest spots. A lot of people who have a good solid 5 minutes. Some have a great solid 15 minutes. Some, they're a feature. There's different time frames. So you want to be able to do at least 30 minutes as a feature. Some of them I'll light a little bit early. Like they're not responding. The crowd isn't responding. I want to get to the good stuff. So,
so you have there's like a physical light that these people can see that you kind of like, really?
Well, I mean, sometimes I use my phone. Sometimes I'll just.
Have you had a light? Have you had to light a lot of people?
Well, I mean, I light them anyway when their time is about up. But there's a few people where I have lit a little bit early. I'm like, this is not.
You're doing them a favor.
And my crowd, or I'll see people turn around and look at me like,
is this happening?
Yeah. So.
But I would imagine.
Happens. Everybody has a bad night.
Yeah.
But the negative stuff. It's okay. It makes me work harder, or I'm like, I mean, sometimes that's the way it goes. Or a comedian might have an off night. Very rarely. Like my headliners, sometimes I'm like, it doesn't matter if this guy doesn't do so great because I've got a really great headliner. At the end of the show, everybody's happy and have had a good time. So
do you enjoy your shows, or are you kind of like, it's a program? You know what I mean?
No, I enjoy every one of them.
You do enjoy them.
I
That's
do.
awesome.
I could go, and even if it's not my show, I can go to a comedy show. I'll go to somebody else's comedy show. That's my thing. Like, I know you'll never come to one of my, not say never, but I know it's not your thing.
Do I get a free pass though? I've explained it.
I know. I do. And I don't hate you for it. I mean, I know a lot of people that it's just not their thing. That's okay if it's not your thing. Soccer's your thing. I tell everybody, find what you love and do what you love. Do it as much as you can. Comedy is what I love. If it's not my show and I can go to another show, that's it. Like one of those boys that want to ask me on a date, don't ask me out to dinner. I can feed myself. I can buy myself dinner. Don't ask me to a show, that would be more.
On that subject, there we go. That's the peen subject. That's what I'm talking about. You can educate.
Okay.
I think the most underrated asking out of a girl is the like the ice cream. I asked so many people that, like, when Camille and I will be out and there's a girl sharing with us, or we'll be gone. It's like, there's no boys. I say, as a guy asked you out for ice cream in the last like net 30 days, 60 day night, they don't do that anymore.
Ice cream?
Yeah. It's so underrated. I mean, maybe would it work for you? I think it would work.
That would work for me.
Yes, it would.
No. I first of all, I really don't eat ice cream, but I have twice in the last month.
Ice cream can happen anytime.
At Sally's. I know, and I can't, the same scoops every time.
But if you want to go on a date with Cristy B,
don't ask me for ice cream.
Don't ask her for ice cream. Ask her to go out like a show. Yeah. Isn't it tough though to kind of get to know each other? You're at a show. You can't really. Have you been asked on a date to go to a comedy show?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you, whoever that man is.
Yeah.
Well done. Are you in a steady? You're in a steady, aren't you?
Oh God, we're really getting personal right now, aren't we? Can I pause that question?
I love you so much. All right, moving on. Well, let's talk about the next show that you do have, because it's a paid one. It's very exciting.
It is.
And people are using the link too, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Got a little bit of PayPal tickets on there.
The next one will be better. This is kind of the Band-Aid. That was some love for you. But as long as people can find it. So you have your first paid, well, not your first, but this will be the one where is this it's at Breaks? The next paid one?
Yeah, this is the second paid show there. I had Mark Skippy Price there was the first paid show. And that's before your time. Oh my gosh, how old are you?
I'm 19.
Oh, way before.
No, 35 now.
35? Wow.
It doesn't
Still
bother me as
before-
much on a tangent. It's just the soccer thing. I'm so old in the soccer world.
Oh,
you know, like when they
are.
talk about the super athlete stars in the soccer world,
Yeah.
and they're like, this dying man, he's 34 or whatever. I'm like, oh my God, it's so me.
Career is.
Because
I don't know.
I've
he's
aged
still
with
running.
the greats of our era, the Messis, the Ronaldos, these real people that you know. But these are the Jerry Seinfelds and this guy he's way older than me.
Oh, okay.
That's Maradona.
Okay.
He doesn't even count.
Oh, does he still play?
He doesn't still play.
Oh.
No. But
does he like do this? Does he like talk about soccer?
You know, I don't think he does anything anymore. He just loves his life. There's a movie coming out about him actually.
Oh. Okay.
And I think it's coming out June-ish. No, he was he got really, really super famous. And that, what do they call that? Nose candy? Is that the slang?
For what?
The cocaina.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He played with that, and it just got.
Oh.
So they're gonna make a big movie about him. But anyways,
soccer
point is,
and cocaine.
Soccer and cocaine goes together like that.
Who knew?
But that's me. But yeah, so you're what now? 36.
I'm almost 50. I'm going to be 50.
God bless.
Actually, in a few years, but still.
Do you still feel it though? You got it. You know you got it, right? You carry yourself well.
I've never felt more comfortable in my life, in my body, and you know, I'm not almost. I am. I'll be 47 this summer. So, but I love.
You rock it.
I mean, it is what it is.
Even Camille says she look good.
I'm 47. This is 47.
I think the only way someone could tell your age is your calendar.
And the fact I don't know how to use my phone.
That's kind of a common denominator amongst men. There's a lot of people that can't, but that calendar is, I mean, got to be one of the most attractive things about you is that calendar.
I'm old school. I'm old school. Like I actually have tickets for my show. Like everything is online and stuff like that. But I actually have tickets, and I stand at the door and I just rip that. And here's your ticket
Good
stuff. I love it.
ticket stuff.
I love old school stuff.
Well, that's okay. Wrapping back up to that, are you seeing when you're getting the sales online digitally? You're still going to have the ticket for them waiting, or are you doing it more?
No, I won't have. I won't have tickets for them.
So you are moving into the new.
Well,
city.
I want to have both. You know, so you can go purchase your ticket at Breakaways right now for $10 and get a free drink with that.
Boom.
On the night of the show. So actually, you're
it's going to be the Wednesday.
Yes, let me look at my big ass.
Have you got any feedback?
Seriously.
You need a ladder to
I can't
read
see.
this thing.
Here's my calendar.
I don't know.
A lot of information.
Oh, there it is. People will be able to see it.
This is very important. If I'm going to an important meeting,
that thing. It's bigger than
I
the screen.
am going to take this. I get one every year. Sometimes I get two. But this
you start selling those calendars.
I should. You know what? Me and my girls talked about doing a
Cristy B calendar.
I could sell them at the end of the show. We were going to do single whatever. What am I looking at on my big calendar?
I don't know what you're looking at. You got
Breakaways on the 29th. I do want to promote my show, so let me take a minute. Let me just
enough about the peen. Okay.
You know what?
You keep trying to talk.
I'll tell you everything you want to know, but now
no showtime. Come on.
It's business. Let's talk business. So Michael Harrison on the 29th at Breakaways. Okay. So you can go in and get your tickets for $10 and get a free drink, or you can order it online at ChristyBComedy.com. Okay. Also on the 31st, I have Danny Johnson at Tomoka Brewing Company. He is from Dry Bar Comedy. I know you don't watch a lot of. You watch? Do you? You watch it. You just don't go to it. Okay, you did your research. So Dry Bar, another clean comedy show. Very, very funny. And this is the first guy. Hi, Camille. Are you being happy?
She's just making her morning margarita.
Oh, perfect.
Yep.
Make it a double and pass one over here.
Do you see her shirt, by the way?
Let me see. Oh, I love
it's Shroot Farm. For those who can't see, it says Shroot Farms. The beat Shroot Farms. Okay, continue.
Okay, so the 31st, Tomoka Brewing Company. I've been doing comedy there. I did it for about a year. They took about a year off, and I've been back at that show, and that's in Port Orange. I love working with them. They've got an excellent room, a nice, huge stage, and it's on the side. They've got a really good clientele out there. Again, you can go in and purchase your tickets at Tomoka Brewing Company on Clyde Morris Boulevard. Do I sound like I'm actually selling the stuff? Clyde Morris Boulevard in Port Orange, or go to ChristyBComedy.com. And then to the month of June, I'm going on some vacations there. I have June 2nd, Crossroads Tavern in Bunnell with Janice Bone Tempo. Let me first of all, I love her, and you need to meet her if you haven't met her already. She's a wonderful woman.
Not everyone likes me. Maybe
she would love you. She loves everybody. Yeah. She's a great woman. She also has started a foundation. I don't want to butcher this, so I'm going to keep it very short about what's happening. It's called Grace Flagler. So I'm not going to say I'm teaming up with her, but I'm donating a portion of all my ticket sales to her foundation called Grace Flagler. She started this foundation. Her granddaughter, Harper, has had 5 organ transplants, I believe, and she's 5 years old. Jeez. Doing great. But I think she started this because of all the support that she got from Flagler County. She wanted to do something to give back, because I think she's an angel on earth. And so she has started this. She's called it Grace Flagler. All the money stays in Flagler. So the last thing that they used some of the money for was to build a handicap ramp for a family in need. And the guys that donated their time, it's a motorcycle group called the Punishers. They're all either police officers or retired police officers. So I don't want to say motorcycle gang, that would not be appropriate, but a motorcycle group. They all donated their time and went out, and she used the money to buy the material and build that. I don't know how she goes about what she's going to do with the money, but I decided, since I'm going into ticket sales and I'm always trying to give back, that a portion of all my ticket sales will go to Grace Flagler. And I trust her. I know that she's doing good in this world. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. She always makes sure. We've done several shows. It's called Comedy in the Attic. She's got a great building. Have you ever been to Crossroads? It's right in Bunnell, not far from my house. So right down the road. So she's got a great building downstairs, pool table upstairs, and then the 3rd story is her office. But on the 2nd floor is I talk with my hands a lot, is Comedy in the Attic. And the next show there is on June the 2nd. I'm going out of town, going on vacation to see my family in Tennessee. I have 2 nieces having babies. They better both have them that week. So I'm having some more greats. I've got a wonderful family. I love y'all. I know you're watching out there. Can't wait to see you. So it's our family vacation. And then I'm going to Vegas, baby, June 26th. So Jill Kimmel, let me tell you a story about Jill Kimmel really quick. It was almost 2 years ago, around Thanksgiving. Jackie Knight again. Oh my gosh, Jackie, I owe you a big one. She has been a really good part in my comedy career here. She called me up and she's like, Jill Kimmel is coming to town. You've got to come see her set, because I love my female comedians. And when I can book one of them, I draw to them, because I just love it. So I went to her show on Friday. She had no idea who I was or anything. And I really was just doing my little thing. You know, I had breakaways at the time, but that was about it. We started talking, and we're the same age, and she was just so down to earth. We have kids about the same age. We were just, I don't know, we just connected. And then, I told her, I said, I have a little room. I said, one day someday I'm going to get you back here in one of my rooms. And she's like, well, just to, shoot me an offer when you're ready. And that was my goal. I was like, I'm going to do this. I want to start bringing these good, solid comedians in. Not that, Florida has a great base of fantastic comedians. I do want to start bringing in people from all over and stuff like that. So anyway, it was finally just recently, I think it was March, that I had her here. And she didn't work breakaways. I had her at Crossroads. I had her at Beachfront with Jamie. We had 110 people. We sold out show. 110
that was
people
a paid
out
one.
there. It was
Awesome.
one of my first paid ones, and she just killed it. She's just a great person. So we've always kept in contact. I don't have a budget for hotel, so I'm like, you can stay with me. And we just kicked it all over town. And she loved this little town. And we had a good time. So I can't wait to have her back. We've kept in contact. We just became friends. And so she has some gigs in Vegas. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to come just support you. Just come and hang out and stuff. Then she called the other day and she's like, I got you a guest spot on one of my shows. So I was like, yeah.
Amazing.
So I'm going to Vegas. I will not be at the show June 26th. I'm actually going to have some of the finalists of the competition that I just ran at the Lope and Gopher.
Okay.
So I'm
How
bouncing
is that
around
spot?
a lot. Are you all following along? You
We
think
don't
they're
know.
able to?
I'm following along.
Okay, so I'm going to just tell you, and then you all can rewind if you need. I do tend to bounce around a lot.
I could possibly.
I do. It's like,
rewind.
weren't you just
Rewind
talking
the
about
VHS
stuff? Because I
tape.
need to get back to Skippy. I had he was from Family Ties. You don't remember that show from the 80s? Family Ties.
I do remember.
With Michael J. Fox. Well, Skippy was the nerdy neighbor. He's a great guy. He's very funny. Well, he better be. He's a comedian. But he's down to earth. He had a lot of fun. He was doing a 25 city tour, and I put him in 4 of those because I had him in Bunnell, Flagler. I had him at Breakaways. I had him in Ormond and Port Orange. Okay. I have about 6 rooms that I'm running right now. Awesome. Not all consistent monthly. And then I have 2, some are just quarterly, every few months or when I have a special event. And then I have 2 rooms that I'm working on right now. We'll see how that goes down. Anyway, so I put him in 4 of his 25 city tour, but we became friends too. He'll hit me up. He said that this was the best of all the cities that he toured. This was the best one in 2019. And then he sent me a picture of him in Hawaii. And he said, I'm sorry, you just went to number 2. And I was like, I'll take.
That's fair.
Oh, that's super fair. So anyway, that's what I'm trying to do. Okay. Just bring in new comedians. So Jill and I were going to have some fun in Vegas, and she can introduce me to
Jill's your new side chick. The one that had sleepovers, your new.
I know. Yes, we did.
I guess I didn't get to meet her.
You didn't. We hung out a lot in Flagler. She met my girls. She didn't get to meet Hudson, but she met my girls, and she's just, to them, she's like the coolest mom.
Right.
And I'm like, well, I bet her kids would think I'm a cool mom. Right. They don't. My kids, I don't know if they think I'm cool or not. We'll see. I'm driving my daughter's car right now because she's on restriction from driving.
Oh, she got grounded?
Yeah.
Did they clean the house yesterday?
14 and 16. What?
Remember, you said that she wanted to stay home from school.
Oh, yeah. Well, my daughter played hooky yesterday. So
I don't think we're going to, big deal. You're going to go to mom jail? That happens.
I know, the last week of school.
You told me that you were going to bring them. You said no.
She did.
You guys can be really strict moms. Teresa's the same way.
Yeah.
Something came out of me the other day where she was sharing with me that she wouldn't let her daughter go sleep over her friend's house. And my parents know how much I used to want to sleep at my friend's house all the time. She said no. And I felt like I was a kid again. And I was like, that's so mean. But I mean, what do I know?
Well, you don't know all the circumstances.
I don't know the circumstances.
She could have been a smart ass earlier that day and didn't deserve to go.
I was harping on. I was like, come on, Ma.
I know.
Let her sleep over. I guess the thing that made it even worse is that the older one was going out for a sleepover and the younger one wasn't. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The anger. I could feel it. I could taste it. Even though I'm the oldest of the 3, if one got something and I didn't, come on, that's like vendetta status.
Oh, yeah. Mine are all 2 years apart. I have Raylan 16, Hudson 14, Hayden's 12. And my girls are like, oh, we all know Hudson's your favorite. I'm like, well, he's my favorite son. He's my only boy. And, he's the middle child. And they're like, I don't have a favorite. I love all my children.
There's always a little bit of someone gets away with the.
Everybody seems to be getting away with everything all the time.
The oldest is the guinea pig. I get it.
Yeah.
I got it. But it's okay.
I actually took her phone away the other day and went out and bought a flip phone.
Bringing it back.
I'm like, you know what? I said, you need to program this phone. You got to have a phone in case of emergency, right. Even though we're driving her. And
was she snapping and thingies and?
Oh, the flip phone. So she had to activate. She's like, how do I activate this flip phone? I was like, figure it out. So I take her to school the next day, and I pick her up, and she said, at first she said, I need to know what time it was, but I wasn't about to pull out my flip phone in the hall.
She would be so cool. She did probably actually.
But then she's like, then we got to class and we were timing how long it took me to write the same sentence on an iPhone versus the flip phone. And I was like, how can you make a flip phone cool? Like she went to high school and made a flip. Like,
am I allowed to know what the offense was?
No. Family matters. It's
all right, fine,
business,
whatever.
So it doesn't matter. It's
I get it.
She's a teenager.
I'm just greedy. You know,
she's
I like
a teenager. I know.
All right. So she caused an offense. Phone was removed. She's back. That was very nice of you to even give her a flip phone. But I guess you're looking at it from a safety measure.
My kids are great. Don't get me wrong. Like she's held down a job for 2 years.
Oh, good.
Same job. She started working at 14. My son just got a job at 14. I'm like, the sooner they start working, the sooner I can stop. Right?
I started working when I was 14.
I did too.
I think it's really important to. I've said it a few times, but whatever. I wanted my permit, and my dad said, "Okay, you got to go to work." And he literally had it down to a mathematical equation of what the insurance was going to go up and the cost. I don't know back then if there was actual cost to get your permit, like whatever, like that one-time fee or whatever. But I had to pay for all of it, and then the insurance monthly I had to pay for that. And since then, it's been history. I've always.
Well, I think it's important that they start working. You know.
So and all three are now working.
2 out of 3.
Wow.
Well, the youngest is only 12. So,
she's coming up. She's probably dreading it. She's like, no.
It's like, I've already got that job lined up. You're ready out the door. So my kids are great. They're teens right now. So being a single mom with a teen, it's tough. I co-parent very well with my ex-husband. We get along great. We're not always on the same page, but we do a really good job. My kids are amazing. I look at them and I'm like, well, they're not doing anything that I wasn't doing. And actually, they're not quite doing the things I was doing, or I don't know about it. And that's okay too. Mm-hmm. That's okay too. But we're just going through normal teen stuff.
Do you know, I get a lot of like the type of behind the scenes banter I have with people. I feel like I have a really large audience of women that are either single moms or I don't know, but like the working force mother. And I'm getting a lot of people that want this, like people that are keeping a smile on their face, working hard, getting it done, found some passion, have that hobby, maybe making a buck or two off of it, but taking care of it. You know, it's not
being able to do what you love. And
when I had a little clothing company that morphed into this baby clothing company, and the name of it was Baby Pickle. And I don't know why, and I don't want to sound super whatever, but I just felt in my heart one day, I kept chasing money. And then I went to, all right, I'm just going to help. Because I think it's by consequence of getting older, you do realize that the more you help, the more it does come back.
Correct.
It's just really this perfect equation. If you do it, it really does work. So I started to implement this like loving factor to helping people out. And it boiled down to, because it was baby clothes, that I would help out single moms and families in need. Of course, I didn't discriminate. Like I would still help if I got a phone call or need. I wasn't like, oh, you're not a single mom, I'm not helping you. But
get a divorce and then I'll help you out with some clothes, okay?
Break up with them and we'll help you. But Camille and I were just starting to kind of like get moving together here. And this the courtship was heavy at that point. And she became a huge asset to not only me as a human, but like helping me in the business. But my point is, people would say to me sometimes, they go, did you grow up like in a non-nucleus family, or did you grow up with just, and I said, no, like I kind of had a very good, simple America upbringing. And I don't know what it was, but since then there's always been a little bit of the common denominator of I love women in the workforce and just life. Cause I don't mind saying it. It's definitely, I think, harder for a woman to get by, not just financially too, but like to break the stigmas. And that's why I was joking with you earlier. And we've talked about this many times as we've gotten to know each other, how men approach women. And it's just, it's just different. And whenever it seems to be a woman that's attractive and headstrong and doing her thing, a lot of dudes use that as this weird way to get into, for instance, if you were selling cups and the next thing you know, you got like 10 guys like, I would like to buy a cup. And like, no, you don't. You didn't want no cup. You're just trying to get in touch with her. And I see that a lot because I'm super blessed with working with this huge diversity of clientele. And when they're women, I see that if I'm handling their social media accounts or when I'm seeing the intake forms coming in, and I'm like, these dudes are weird. It's weird.
There's a lot of weird dudes out there.
A lot of weird dudes. I'm sorry. And especially as this digital era, I was talking about this with somebody the other day. Do you think, if I was going to play devil's advocate, is it is it the women's fault? Not you women, but is it the women's that are posting the booties and the boobies on the Instagrams, desensitizing the general public of the man, thinking, well, it is that easy to get and acquire? Is there responsibility? And I'm just asking genuinely, like, I don't know, because I had this discussion with somebody the other day. And or is it the dude's fault where they should say, like, look, it's always been there, not to this amplified effect, because obviously Instagram and all these didn't exist 10 plus years ago, but it was there. Porn's always been there and all that. Is it responsibility lie on the dude to say, like, look, filter that out and still be chivalrous, still approach a woman genuinely? You know what I'm saying? I'm going there with it.
I know. I guess it depends on who you're approaching, right?
I don't know. But all the girls that I
would
talked to,
expect that if I'm, posting my stuff out there.
I see where you're going with it.
I you know what? If that's what I'm portraying, and then someone comes up, I guess that's so
you're more isolating it where if the person is doing that, then they have no room to complain. If they were to
can still complain about it, but yeah. I guess you could expect it a little bit more. I don't know. It depends. I guess I've been very fortunate recently. I haven't had too much disgust when it comes to that. Maybe it's
you practice what you preach, though. Your social media platforms, even your private Facebook page, you're not whoring yourself out. No, you don't at all. So that's a good way of looking at it, because I was having this discussion. I thought it's got to be. It definitely is tough.
You can always be out with your girls, and there's always going to be that one guy that says something, and I'm like, has that ever worked? Like,
right?
Has anyone ever said, yeah, it sounds like a great idea. I would really like for you to do that disgusting thing,
Right.
But I don't know. Now I'm just like, I can't hear you, or I don't understand what you just said, or I'm just not good at being rude.
Right.
I don't know. It's just not welcome behavior.
But to bring it full circle, with why my heart goes out to anybody in this genre of being a single woman and pursuing, once again, work and family and wherever your spiritual needs are, to filter all that. Like I said, I think it's I hope you hear my heart. Like, I just think it's harder. I think it's harder for a gal to keep her head straight when you're being inundated by I think that there's a lot more volume for a girl and a woman in today's era than there was even years ago because of the digital realm, Yeah. But of course, once again, the listeners and there are people that could say, like, it's just as tough for a guy. Like, I personally don't believe that.
Yeah, I can see there's probably just commenting on that left and right now.
People are like, this idiot. But I feel like it really is a thing. And that's why I'm attracted to, and I guess a lot of people are that are listening. The more I have women in the workforce, however you want to put it down. And you've always been a worker. That's where I remember, it's funny. I bet you and I were at the hammock at the same time. We didn't even realize it. Because hammock was 10 plus years ago ish, give or take. Hammocking.
Yeah.
You had to you may have crossed paths.
About 8 years ago. Yeah.
You were a cart girl in it? I
was a cart girl, worked at Loggerheads, Delfino's, the lobby bar. All that. Now my kids work there at the kids crew, but
it's a great venue.
It is.
A lot of people don't know it exists, but it brings in, it's a job. You make a couple bucks, and it's cool because you're kind of not in the mix of it here. Sometimes it's kind of good to just disconnect where you live.
Yeah.
So you don't see it. You're like, oh God.
I know. I love going to the hammock now. Now I go and it's like you get away
as a guest.
Yes.
It's a better experience.
That's right.
So the next time you're on stage is in Vegas. That's you personally.
Yes.
Do you get the butterflies?
Yes.
Inside? Yeah.
Every time.
It's healthy though, don't you think?
I love it. The minute I don't, I'm gonna hate it. It's adrenaline. I get
anxiety. And it's once again, I'm not trying to make it sound from a negative perspective, but I think Michael Jordan had a quote once, is like, those that don't get anxious before a game, it doesn't matter to them.
Yeah,
to that effect.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I like that.
I don't like it though. Sometimes, sometimes it's annoying. You're like,
I love it.
You like it, huh?
I love it. I do.
Do you have like a little rhythm? You have like a pregame?
I don't.
No?
I'm gonna work on that.
I'll
work on that before my Netflix special.
It's going to happen one day if you want, especially if you keep saying it.
I am going
The way that you say it.
I'm right now putting it out into the universe.
Yes.
I am honestly ready to retire this set. I've been working on it, and it is Netflix worthy. And that's it. I'll do my 30-minute special.
Boom.
People can Netflix and chill with me without me being in the room.
I love it.
That's my goal. That's
when you
it.
said
That's
it, when you originally just said it on the show, I went with it. I really thought, I was like, this.
I should have went with it a little bit longer.
I was hoping you, because then you retract and you're like, oh, that's not really happening. But then the Adam Sandler thing, that's pretty crazy. The fact that you guys made out last weekend.
Stop.
What?
That is not, you could have picked someone else. Like,
no.
You could have picked someone else.
Loving. Did you see what he did for Chris Farley, though? No? I'm not a big SNL guy, but there was clips all over the internet. He did a song for Chris Farley. You know how he's always been like a funny musical guy? He did a song for Chris Farley. It was really touching.
Yeah, I just don't want you starting rumors about me and a married guy.
Oh my God.
Like,
if people believe you made Adam Sandler, then you're welcome.
It's not my type.
God.
I love him though. I do love you. Like as if you're gonna watch this, but who knows?
What if
I do have tickets to a show on the 30th.
Do you really?
I
Where
do.
At?
It's at the Apple Theater in St. Augustine. I know, but I'm gonna be in Vegas.
Oh.
So
have you liked him from the beginning to the end? Because he's kind of gone through his. I've always enjoyed him.
Yeah, he's goof. He's a goof. I like that.
Who's your top who's some of your few that you're like?
Ron White's always been a favorite of mine, and I have seen him in person.
He was just on Rogan not too long ago.
Was he? I'm gonna check that out.
He's so good.
I started out when the first female comedian that I ever saw, Rita Rudner, back in the 80s.
Okay.
Maybe
not familiar with her.
Late 80s or early 90s on Johnny Carson. And I loved her. And that's when I decided I was going to do it, because I knew at that point I was not going to be a solid gold dancer. And so I had to go with my second thing that I wanted to be. And so here I am slinging jokes.
Is she still going?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm going to check that out.
There's not a lot of chicks in the comedy world
there's a few.
Well, that are, that have that kind of
made a successful career out of it.
Not yet anyways.
Not yet.
Damn.
No, here's the thing though. Honestly, serious in the business that I'm working right now, this year, I kind of have to decide if I'm going to continue down the path as being a booker and creating venues and doing all this, or if I want my career to take off. That was never my plan, is to be, some famous comedian. It's not. After my Netflix special, I'm just gonna hang it up. I'm gonna hang it up for a little while. All right, maybe I'll do, retire, do a little comeback every now and then. But right now, what's working best for me is booking the talent, creating the venues. Because here you say, all these. I talked to someone yesterday that had posted, that had bought tickets and stuff, and people are like, they're having a girls' night out. One of the reasons that I love doing this is because it makes me forget about. Life is tough right now. I can tell you that I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, but I also have teenagers. It's tough. It's tough. Things are happening in people's lives. You may be going through a divorce, or someone could have run over your dog, or a death in the family. But come to one of my shows, in 90 minutes, you get to forget that and just be in a happy place, laugh, and have a good time. So that is what I'm trying to do. Just create those places where these single moms are like, oh my gosh, I just want to pull my hair out. I just can't take it anymore. Wine Wednesday, come out with the girls, forget about it, and then go back to your teenage.
This is where kids. I've always fallen in love with you even more, because this is what makes the show not only more real, but you as a person more real. And it's true. It's so that. Why do you think us, as, if we want to call us footballers or soccer little dudes, those 90 minutes,
you get to forget about everything.
So that clip that Maradona there, I saw this preview for, once again, that's like one of the Michael Jordans of it. The point is, he's quoted in the movie and he says, for those 90 minutes, life doesn't matter. And it sounds it could sound weird but your worries go away. And I feel like it's really important and extremely healthy as I'm getting older to not run from them. Don't run from your responsibility. Don't ignore your responsibility. But there's nothing wrong with just, you gotta have your call it whatever you want.
Outlet.
Your zen, your outlet, maybe it's 95 minutes, and of course I think there's a healthy attribute to where it can't be, 90 days. Like, I'm doing me 90 days. And you're like, well, look, man, you gotta
Kids? What kids?
You gotta pay some bills. You gotta do, you gotta adult. But it's extremely important for people to find that. And especially if you find like-minded people. That's my thing.
True.
You gotta, all we need is a good 3v3, 4v4, and we're in our heaven. And it's good to be with that. It's awesome because, of all the years I've been playing, never once do it's crazy. I don't know these guys personally, most of them at all. And I've had friends of mine that have dated some of them and back and forth, and they'll be like, so what is he or she like? And I'm like, I have no idea, but I'll tell you what position they play.
That's right.
And I'll tell you how they are on the pitch. And that usually is a reflection on how their life is. But I appreciate you sharing that and being candid and I kind of put it throughout a few of the episodes, like in between the episodes, I try to remind people that this is not like we're laughing, we're smiling, we're here, but life is life.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm even more appreciative when people like yourself take the hour, 2, 3 hours, wherever the show goes, to come sit down with me and to share with people that half of them you're not even going to know. And if it's helping somebody and remind, like it does, it's real life out there.
It is.
A lot of people going through a lot of things. Camille and I are my mind and heart are on somebody the last few days, and she knows exactly who she is. And I have no qualms in saying this. For those that are dealing with those things, you make me a happier person because I use it to compare and contrast what I'm going through. And I go, I have no room to complain.
Yeah.
I have not one thing I could possibly say that I'm upset about compared to what some people's cards have been dealt. And I don't hope that doesn't come off.
I know what you're saying.
And I'll tell them that literally over the phone or in person. I'll say, what you're going through makes me just shut up.
Yeah.
Like, you are amazing how you're able to deal with that. But I think there's a fine line, and there's like this, when people are vulnerable, just like you were, that's where I feel that's why some of the reason you are going through it is be vulnerable and to share it and say, hey, look, you know what? I'm Cristy B, like known to be like one of the most, you're funny. You're just attractive in general, but it's not always cool in here.
Yeah.
And it's good to remind people that. And you always do that though. You're so real. That's why I've always.
Thank you.
Does that mean,
yeah.
You hear me?
I know what you're saying. Like I have a friend that's going through a breakup, it's a really hard time. And, then when she's like, well, how are you doing? I'm like, I'm never been better. Like
right.
I'm honestly, I'm happier than I've ever been. And then I was like, I feel guilty for saying that. And then I thought, you know what? I don't, because I've been there,
Mm-hmm.
I've financially struggled. It was
Mm-hmm.
just a few years ago. Honestly, I'm scrounging around dimes and nickels to put $2 of gas in my car to go pick my kids up from school.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was already out of quarters. I was just down to the dimes and nickels. It was tough. I have been there. I have struggled. I have had so many obstacles in my life to, pull me down. But right now, it's just like I'm just in a good place, and
right.
Happy comes within. So be happy. Put on your happy juice, and that's it. I don't feel guilty anymore saying I'm in a better place than I've ever been in.
Have you, do you, and like, you've done it with me always, as we've gotten to know each other and you've come over and we've been working on your projects and stuff. But for those that are getting to know you, have they seen the real Cristy B sometimes?
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah. There's been a sad, broken,
right.
Scared. I have been through it all. And I know, like right now, I'm still going through stuff,
of course.
But I'm able to handle it so much better.
Right.
Like right now, I'm like, okay, we can deal with that. Kids, all right,
Mm-hmm.
we got this. We'll work together. We're gonna figure this out. Finances, all right, we're doing all right here. We'll take care of this.
Right.
Business, I'm trying to grow this off the ground and everything. So I'm just able to handle everything. Just like I don't take medication, but I'm like on a
chill.
I don't know. Maybe
you're learning how to put things where they belong to be for that moment.
Yeah.
I think
maybe it's just, I'm tired. Maybe I'm just older and I'm just like,
well, I don't know what it is, but I think it has a lot to do. I'm learning that, it could be a phone call, flat tire, something, some type of adversity. And I've learned that there's always, I keep using this a lot. I've said it a few times the last few shows, and those that know me personally, I really am going through, like, I lost hours and hours and hours of really, really important footage to me. I would never post it. It was just my own personal home video type of stuff. And I lost it. And I'm still dealing with, like, I feel like us as human beings, we're always trying to find why. We're trying to answer like, why did this happen? And you can blame it on your higher being that you may, whatever. But there's a fine line between saying, like, why, and then just going, just go. It's over. It doesn't matter. Because as I think what's happening too is that, correct me if I'm wrong, but as we're getting older, it sounds rather morbid, but we are going to die. We're going to die. It could happen any moment. And I'm realizing that when we die, we're not taking anything with us anyways.
Yeah.
So that was, it's ridiculous as it sounds, as I was dealing with this literally instantaneous disappearance of hours of footage that I had yet to even watch. I said, what was I going to do with it anyways?
Yeah.
It's not mine, and it's just a reflection and an idea of none of it's yours anyways.
Yep.
If it's literally outside of your physical body, and even that's not even yours, it's at some points when it comes to elements and health, just a reflection on knowing what to do with the situation at that very moment and knowing that you're really not in control. And here I am as this digital tech guy, and I'm like, I just lost hours of footage. Like, what am I? I'm like, it's embarrassing. Like, I should have backups and backups and backups and backups. And I did, but all of them gone. The point is, you're dealt with adversity, and Cristy B, it sounds like you, and I feel like there is a growing audience, not just with my show, but the people that are educating themselves and enriching themselves, that, look, who are you to dictate whether it's good or bad anyways at this point? Whether it's health, finances, friction within the family. At the end of the day, you're going to die, and you're going to die alone. And it sounds sad, but it's really not that bad.
Well, not at the end of the day, but eventually.
Today at 9 p.m. But
that did not come out right. Can we rewind?
Wait, rewind VHS tape.
Edit that out.
But that's what's keeping me in like this, like my equilibrium of peace is going, you know what? And there's nothing wrong, though, and I always say this because she's a sweetheart too, but a very dear friend of mine who I didn't realize, we were going through. When's the last time you've gone through, like, physical photos? That's so powerful.
Yeah.
I was at a friend's house, and out of nowhere, they're busting out, like, photos, all like photos. And I didn't realize it's an old high school friend of ours. I had no idea how many photos that we had, like, those moments that we had shared together. But to see those photos and to see this child in these photos, and I can close my eyes and remember exactly where I was. I remember some of the shirts I had. I'm like, God. And then I remember looking back and going, God, I thought I was fat then. Like all those self-doubts and all those. And you look back and you fast forward 15, 20 years and you go, none of it even mattered.
I know.
Unless you used it as a building block. And thank God we're still here. And however you want to look at it, but look at us. We're doing it.
I know. And it is going by fast. It's going by a lot faster now. So as it's going by so fast, I don't want to have unhappy days.
Right.
I don't want to have, I don't want to not feel good. I don't want to be in a situation that I'm not happy. It's just, life is too short for that. It's hard sometimes. I mean, people, you go through stuff and you got to get down. And then you got to get out of it and get stronger.
Well, life is in seasons. That's another thing too. You can't just be this, like, peaches and cream all the time. It's all about what you do to your outside, I feel too. So there's nothing wrong with knowing, like right now, I know that I'm in a decent season, but I have to be, what you do with a little bit, you're going to do with a lot. So I'm trying to learn over the last few years as I started to really adult hard is, hey man, if I'm mad and sad now and things are pretty good, what am I going to do when I have the flat tire or the missed car payment or whatever it is whatever really gives you your woebegones, just figure it out now and then be prepared for that. So once it does get rough, you keep that even keel, but I don't know. It's really important to have your outlet. Like, and I think it's fantastic and really a blessing for you that your outlet happens to be comedy.
Funny. Yeah. Like, get out of your situation for a minute and just forget about it. That's what I'm trying to do. The first person, gosh, I wish I could remember her last name.
Go to your calendar.
No, I don't have it written down. It just came to my head, but I'd been doing comedy at Breakaways for about 6 months. And I was just there. It was just another night. I think comedy was going to be the next week. And she came over to me and she said, "Hey, are you the comedy girl?" And I was like, well,
this was a night of a show or just like
it was like 2 weeks after a show, and she was like, "Aren't you the comedy girl?" And I was like, "Well, I guess that's what they call me now, I guess." So yeah. And she said, "Hey, I just wanted to say thank you." She said, "We've been to your last 2 shows, me and my girlfriends." And she's like, "I'm going through some things right now." And she said, "I just want to say thank you." She said, "I love comedy, and I don't want to drive half an hour one way or the other. And I appreciate what you're doing." I remember the first person. I can't remember her name because I'm terrible with names, but
Okay.
I remember the first person that thanked me for doing that. And I was like, wow, like it did make a difference for someone she's like, me and my girlfriends, we love to come out and just, we leave the kids at home, or some go with their dads on Wednesdays. Right. And that's what we do. And that was the first one that like said, thank you. And I was like, you're welcome. That's one of the reasons I'm doing it, because I'll tell you what, over all these years, it's not been like, I'm not going out buying new cars with my comedy money or anything. It's not been for the financial reasons. It's been because I love it. It's my passion, and I'm trying to do for other people. But now, like I said, pouring everything into it, I'm moving on to the next level. My radio little commercial will be airing next. I know. Next week, I think it'll be on Beach 93.7.
Did you do it? You said.
Well, they're editing it right now. I went in there and there we are. Yes. I went in there and they told me to say some things, and they're trying to, they're putting it all together. I don't like my voice. Like when I go back, I can't leave like a voicemail and stuff. Hey, y'all, it's Cristy. When I hear my voice, I'm like, tell me I don't sound like that, but.
You'd be surprised.
I sound like that.
No.
I know. I sound like that.
You sound horrible.
It's
I'm going to have to edit this whole show and put like somebody else's voice to lip. Camille's going to lip sync the entire show.
That's good. That's it.
No. You'd be surprised how many people probably do love your voice and love everything that. Talk about like uppercuts of compliments where you're just not even expecting it and you're out in the middle. I've been getting more of these, and I never would have thought in a million years. And people are like, I really just love your voice. I don't even know these people.
You do have a good voice,
but I don't. You think I started the show or even knew that sincerely? Like you know me. I'm going to start the show just
because of my voice.
I'm going to do. I'll never forget when the first person that told me that was just floored because it's flattering.
Yeah.
A, B. They said way even more than that about like once again the mission of the show, and they're really picking up what I'm throwing down. It's not even me; it's the people that are here and how I talk with them. But once again, you would never, you can't explain that to somebody that's not pursuing something when your motive is pure. You don't know where their gratification is coming from. And just like with me, I'm not making any money off this. I'm not charging people to be here. So where I'm getting my ultimate gratification is when I get, bump into somebody and they're like, dude, I literally was having the worst day. And it's not a me thing. It's not like, it's whatever because look how far we went all over the place. I have no idea what we even talked about. Like, honestly,
and we were starting on stuff, and then I was like, man, let me look at my calendar. I want to make sure that I
go hit it.
I got to make sure
you see how it happens though? People that have never been on, a lot of them are apprehensive in the beginning because they're like, this calendar is the best.
There's a lot of information on here.
I'm wondering if they could see this thing. This is
seriously. If someone came in and stole this out of my house, it would just be. And there's personal things on here. Of course there is. I mean,
I love this calendar. But you see how it happens. You don't know where it's going to go. You just go with it. And we talked, and there's a lot of love. What else we got on there? That is a list. Where are we? Did we do good?
Well, we did okay. I do. Again, I want to.
You got to do what you got to do.
Kayla Eve. I have to say, KE Creations. She's taken over my social media for me because it is getting a lot right now. Like I have a lot of comedians and thank you. Keep hitting me up because I'm doing it. They're like, I'm going to be around, or do you have any work for me? And so I'm trying to do all of that. Can't do it without my calendar. So I've got that part of it. Me going out. I like to get booked now that I'm doing all this. I don't get booked as much anymore. So when I got the thing at Orlando Improv, I was so excited because people think that I don't want to go. I love to go and perform and not worry about, are people going to show up? So now, like, all these shows that I'm doing, I'm like, oh man, we've only sold so many tickets. And I, the stress, and I'm worrying over that. And then I'm like, you know what? It's all going to work out. It always does. So Kayla is taking over my social media. So sometimes I'll get on there and I've posted something, but I didn't post it. And I was like, wow, that looks
good, right?
That looks really good. They're going to know it's not me.
She's coming back, by the way.
Here today?
On the show. Oh, she'll be here in 5 minutes.
She bringing the beer?
She no, she's a sweetheart. She reached out to me. She wants to do show 2. So yes, she's a gem.
I do have to mention and I'm talking about everybody that's helped me get to where I'm going. You're helping me right now get to where I'm going. You're doing
this is like your Grammy.
I know. I want to thank you so much for all the help. Are you going to light me here in a minute? Steve Brooks is very dear to me. He has been to every single one of my Cristy B comedy shows. We say that he works for me. He has gone without, he does it because he loves me and he loves this. He's retired from the service and firefighters. And we became friends a long time ago. So somehow when I fell into this business, the first piece of equipment, the first equipment I bought was from Jimmy Soldo. You know, Jimmy Soldo, he does,
wait, I think I do know who
he's a musician.
Tech guy. He has a lot of AV stuff.
Yeah, he does a lot of stuff, but he's a local musician around here. He sold us, I don't know, probably, I think he said it was one of the first pieces of equipment that he ever had. I think we paid $200 or $250 for everything we needed to start Cristy B comedy. Now it's years later. So now we have nice equipment upgraded and stuff like that. But he stores my equipment. He sets it up for me before every show. He breaks it down. He has been to the shows that I haven't been to. When I was in Vegas the last time, I missed a show. I've been on vacations and he goes and still, I make sure I book the host. So I book everything. I make sure that it's okay. He sets up all the equipment. He takes care of that.
He's your eyes and ears right now.
He is. He does. Like I said, he's been to every show. He drove me 3.5 hours one way. I was doing some work with Bonkers and featuring with them. And they, last year I was like, at this time, I think I did 13 shows in the month of March. Excuse me, last year. So it was, that was a lot. He drove me there. I would drink and then 3.5 hours. He's, Steve, if you are listening, I just want to say, I love you.
Love you, Steve.
And I couldn't do it without you. So I appreciate you doing all of that. So he is, everybody knows he's my Steve. So I appreciate him. What else?
What else you got on there?
Let's see. I think I
did
did everything, right?
Look at you.
No, actually, do we have enough time? What time is it? My phone's off.
Darling, the show is yours.
Oh, yeah.
It's 1:30, but okay.
So we'll start wrapping it up.
Unless, are they doing the Netflix? When is the Netflix guy coming?
You know what? My phone is off right now. They've probably already tried
Adam's
the message.
Probably trying to get in
Adam's going to be like, Cristy. He's going to get in trouble with him.
Well, he's sending the chopper at the airport about like 2:45. He said.
I will not be available.
Sorry, Adam Sandler.
So, no, I don't.
On.
Okay, now you're getting totally off topic. So, there's another show that I'm doing, and it's another feel good show. It's Solutions by the Sea. It is in Daytona. Gail Holt, you know Gail, right? Okay, so Gail, another angel on earth. Gail, I love you so much. So Gail, with her partners on Snack Jacks and Hijackers, Living Waters in Orlando, all organic stuff. So I'm going to put a little plug in there for you. So also she's a part of a recovery center for alcoholics or people,
understood,
addicts and stuff like that. So I am friends with a lot of people that work there that have gone through the program. We did a free show there at the Mike Hall. I think it's the Mike Hall venue. It's off Ridgewood Road. So we did a free comedy show there in December, and it was to help people who are in recovery to learn to do fun, free sober events.
Okay.
So we have another show coming up this summer in June that we're trying to do. And I don't charge for that show. My comedians donate their time. They don't get paid. I call them up and I say, hey, this is something that I'm doing. It makes me feel good. And it's me giving back because, people struggle with so many different things. We had a great turnout. There were probably 75 people there laughing and having a good time, sober. Some of them maybe sober a week, some of them maybe 6 months, some a year. I don't know their stories, but they were so grateful. So we're doing that again in June. And then I'm going to need help with this Flagler Beach. So I'm trying to do a kids comedy night.
Oh, wow.
So it is for children to get up and tell a few jokes. So they can get up and perform. I will have some comedians there that are kid friendly. But I'm trying to do it as a fundraiser, and I don't know how to do stuff like that. I'm the first one to say, if I don't know how to do it, I need help. I would like to find the right venue.
Where do you want? Oh, you don't even have a venue or anything
I don't have a few in mind, but I would like to have the right venue. I'd like to have some sponsors. I would like to be able to raise money or school supplies for families. You know how expensive it is to just
I can imagine.
Get your kid in school. Like now, uniforms, just school shoes, school supplies. Like it's not enough that you send them to school, but it's around $30 to $50 of crap that you have to buy. Like, why do you need 200 pencils? Everything is now on your little iPad. I can't even check my own kids' work because I'm like, how do you do this? And they're like, Mom, really? It's just, so there's it takes a lot of money to put your kid in school. So I'm trying to do something on the lines of
like before the beginning of next season or next season.
Yeah.
next school year.
It's a season.
Next season.
I am so ready for school to be out. Like, I am so tired of getting up at 6 o'clock. I mean, in the mornings.
Your kids are car riders?
Well, I have right now, one catches a bus at 6:40. Okay. Hudson has to be at school at 7, like 7:10 or whatever. Raylan 8 and Hayden 9. I have one in elementary, one in middle, and one in high school.
Covered all
so
your
it's
bases.
Like 3 hours of just making sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. 9:15, I'm finishing up my first cup of coffee. It's time for my second. Now it's like I've got a little bit of
Cristy time.
Yeah, I look at my big ass calendar, and then why do I keep saying big ass? Why do I keep saying that? You edit
what do they
that
call
out
it? Freudian slip.
So anyway, I'm getting off track again, which I do
you did
all the time.
There's no track. What are you worried about, Leah?
Anyway,
like Netflix is recording us right now. Jeez,
Netflix
settle down.
Really
Here's the thing: you're talking about the show. You could put me down, and I will do my due diligence. You could put me down as a sponsor for the show, for the thing.
What I really would like to do
I have
is
my first kid coming on tomorrow. I don't want to say names.
Okay.
I've always wanted to talk to a kid. Like, who didn't watch remember the Kids Say the Darndest Thing with the, I don't remember the first guy.
Yeah.
And then poor Bill Cosby. I know if you can't say bomb on an airplane anymore.
Yeah.
But Bill Cosby, I know, I love him. I guess I'm not supposed to anymore, but I love him for what I knew him as.
Yeah.
But anyways, him doing the Kids Say the Darndest Thing. I'm going to have my first, I don't think you're probably supposed to say kid. Because they're young
That's
adult.
funny that you said that. Like years and years ago, when my kids were really, really young, I needed a mom break. I mean, like I had a 6-month-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-year-old, and I needed a mom break. And I went out, and I was like, I told my husband, I was like, I need a break. He's like, go have a nice dinner, have a good glass of wine right up the road, a nice restaurant. I was at the bar, just feeling great. Some gentlemen down there, and they started talking, just chit chatting, and I was like, yeah, I'm just taking a little mom moment. And they're like, oh, how many children do you have? And I was like, I have 3 kids. And this old man got so mad. And he's like, kids are baby goats.
What?
You have children. And I was like,
oh, he was correcting you.
Yes. Because I said I had 3 kids. Because you just said, can you even say kid anymore? And I was like, goats. I said, sir, I grew them inside my body. I will call them baby goats if I want to. I will call them anything, because sometimes I want to call them little assholes right now. I mean, it is tough. I was like,
they're your little baby goats.
They are my baby goats. And I was just like, all right.
What did he want you to say? Little
children. So anyway, now finish your story. I just butted in.
I'm going to call them kids now forever now.
You're going to have a baby goat here tomorrow.
I'm going to have a baby goat on the show tomorrow. And I'm very excited. I don't know how. This is a good genuine. You had no idea about any of it. Well, actually, this whole show is obviously candid and improv. But I'm having a kid come.
Obviously.
I'm having a baby goat come on tomorrow, and I don't know how to have my first baby goat without the audience. I guess I shouldn't work. So I'm getting a lot of constructive advice. We're like, don't worry about what people could say, and I'm like, well, I kind of have to. If people, so the baby goat's going to be right there. I don't want people thinking that the baby goat's mom isn't here.
Okay.
So should I put her there? You know what I'm saying? Like, imagine you tune in the middle of the show, and like, there's the baby goat.
It's fine. What?
I don't know what today's day and age with the kids and everything.
It's fine.
I mean, granted, I know who she is. She's a sweetheart. Like she's
I can't wait. I'm
like
excited. I can't wait. You know, you
young going on 30, like mentality.
Yeah.
She's really sharp. But I'm afraid what people, I guess I shouldn't be, but I just don't want them thinking.
It's not like that.
No?
Just because, no.
Well,
it's not like,
the mom will be here. Baby goat mom will be
I'm
here.
excited.
She'll probably be chilling with Camille.
Yeah.
But I did say, I don't know how to go about this. So this is coming from a mother. You're saying don't even work. Just go.
Yeah.
All right.
It's not weird. It's not weird. You're making it weird. Don't make it weird. It's fine.
I don't
Just
make
do
it. Are you kidding me? With today's day and age, with the kids and the this and the that, I feel like I have to have like
I'm
a
excited.
disclaimer.
I mean, I don't know what y'all are going to talk about.
Me neither. Are you kidding me? I'm so excited.
I've been wanting to have an applause button or something. I'm used to like an audience, so it is weird. We're watching the.
You like how you don't see? I've had a lot of compliments that you don't really know. They don't even half the time. People don't even know where the camera is. You know where the camera is?
No, I didn't need. Well, I imagine it's on the computer, right there.
But it's not in your face.
Yeah.
See, it's like
Kim Zolciak. Do you ever watch any?
Don't forget to sign this, by the way. Keep forgetting.
Okay.
Because like the show will get over and then.
I feel like there's something else I'm forgetting.
Don't forget it. Let it out. Kim, who? You're about to say somebody.
Kim Zolciak is a reality. She does. Do you watch any reality shows? Tardy for the Party. She was like Atlanta Housewives years ago. We used to work together in the 90s at Bahama Breeze. And that's where I got my nickname, Cristy B. And she was Kim Z. Way before she became reality
in Orlando?
TV. This was in Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
This was in Gwinnett County.
I used to take a ride. Bahama Breeze was a great date place.
Yeah.
Had the fish tanks and everything.
I was with Darden for 10 years.
Ooh,
so, I opened up 2 of their Bahama Breeze restaurants. I opened up a Longhorn. Anyway, so she was airing a show probably, this was about 10 years ago. She was just singing a song, Tardy for the Party. And it was in Orlando. So a few of my girlfriends and I hit her up. I didn't even know that she was on a reality TV show. I was watching TV one night and I saw her on TMZ. And I was like, what is Kim Z doing on TMZ? It's a joke. So anyway, I was like, I messaged her on Facebook and I had no idea that she had been on her 2nd season already of some show. Anyway, found out she was going to be there. You were talking about cameras. That's why I started on this story. I went to see her perform. And after the show, she was like, someone came over and they're like, Kim would like for you to join her. And they were airing for that show. And I was so nervous. This camera, what the lens was like this. And I mean, he was right there. And I was like sitting there and I was trying to just talk to her. And I was like, how do you and she's like, you just get used to it. It just, it just disappears. And I got so nervous. I was drinking beer and I was like, trying to drink. And then I was like, and I chugged the whole thing. Like I was so nervous. I chugged the whole thing. And then for like 3 weeks straight, I was like freaking out thinking, oh my gosh, my big debut on reality TV is going to be me, like just chugging a beer on Bravo. And it never aired. Something happened that night that was way more important than my little visit, and it never aired. I was honestly like sick to my stomach about it.
Yeah, I don't like. I'm going to be slowly but surely investing in better equipment, but I'm not. I don't. Like I said, when it happens, but I've had a lot of compliments with. I guess I've never been on a lot of sets, so I don't really know the difference. But I said some of the people I've had on have. And they're like, bro, it's so chill here. Like it's so.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I forget. I have, other than this big thing right here that, it's just been like, we've been talking. Yeah. And that's just what we do. Like, and when I jump off subject and you jump off subject, it's just what we do.
What really is jumping off subject though? Who do we don't own it. When you walked up, you were so cute. You go, are we running late? How we got to, I said, we don't owe anybody anything.
Everybody knows I'm not on time.
That's what Camille even said. She goes, she's not going to be here at 12.
No,
you were
I was
like-
here at 12. Like
you gave me
that's
the,
to
you
me.
said the Swiller Bees run.
Yeah, I
You were
wanted
doing
to
the
go
Swiller
get a
Bees.
little
What do
coffee
you get
at
at
the-
Swiller Bees?
I got the mocha.
See, I was gonna say I have coffee, but then I stopped myself because I know how you women are with your like mocha chokas.
No, I
and
just
oat
I
cocoa.
love my coffee, and again, you know, I try to do everything that I try to do. I do local. I try to do that, except date, not the.
Don't. Oh, here we go. Right.
So I try to do that, like my printing company, you know, and
Nice.
everything that I do. All my venues are family owned, and you know, so
You
I
do
try
a very
to do.
good job at that.
I ever, you know, help out local people, and they help out you.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm trying to do. Anyway, I went there, and they always let me put my little flyers up there,
Mhm.
and I had put some in there the other day, and there was only one there
What are you talking about?
left.
Where?
That's Willoughby's.
Oh, yes.
So I put some more up there. And
Have you been to the St. Augustine one?
No, I'm so excited. I think she's doing really well.
Yeah, I think
you
it's
know?
turned into like the flagship. I mean, right there at the
Two
college.
venues.
She's a sweetheart. She's supposed to have been on the show a handful of times, so I'm still hunting her.
Super busy. You're gonna
yeah,
have
I
to
know.
do that
Tell me
like
about
4
it.
a.m. because she's
Tie her
gonna make the
down.
donuts.
But she is. I went there and they had just been closing down, and I'm not that guy. Like if I know that, like if they close at 4 and it's 3:45, 3:50, I'm not walking in.
For coffee?
No, I was gonna like marinate, hang out.
Oh yeah.
I didn't.
No,
It was
don't
more.
do
Me,
that.
no, of course not. So I had text her and it said, "I just saw your palace. Like I loved it. I call it Queen Bee." And I was like, unbelievable. And she's like, "Go in there, go in there." I'm like, no. Like they're closing down. She's like, "No, you still can go." I'm like, "No, I'm not that guy." Are you the? You know when places are closing it, like not. I
No,
don't
I've
ever
been
do
in the
that.
service business my entire life. People walk in and they're like, "Oh, what time you close?" 10 o'clock. And they look at it's 9:55 and they're like, "Oh, we got time."
Yeah. You got a menu, and you're like, "Oh God."
No, you don't.
Unless it's like
actually.
going to be a grab and go,
Yeah.
like that. You help me out real quick. It's the only place that's open.
Right.
But no. So did we do it?
I think, if we didn't have, gosh, I'm sorry if I forgot to mention somebody or anything. I'm sure.
I think you covered all your
I think-
bases.
I think
You even talked
so.
about your baby goats.
My baby goats. I'm excited for you tomorrow. That's going to be great. Maybe you can help with
I'm not kidding you.
the
I would
kid
actually,
comedy
I would
thing.
ask to be part of that because I don't have kids, but I've been told, and I've always enjoyed interacting with kids because I'm just see the dogs. That's
Yeah.
why we couldn't have
They
them out
want-
there.
They
See?
want. They
I
want
could
some
have been
kids.
trying to eat a squirrel probably, or baby goat. I go crazy.
Baby goat.
But no, I've always enjoyed being just real with, like, just talk to them like
Yeah.
they're grown, and then they respond with,
Oh, you would love my baby goats.
Yeah?
You'd love my kids. They are. My children somehow are extremely intelligent, and I love when they are interacting with other adults. And like my son is very polite,
the way they just interact.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, what they say?
Well, kids these days, man,
They're so smart.
sharp.
They're little adults now. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
I
guess it-
babies are people.
It does have to be a little bit interesting with the implications of the social medias and the phone. I'm sure it's got to be a little bit more. You got to police yourself a little. I'm sure it's got to be a little, but they could also be using for the better of their
Right.
their brain.
I mean, I'm terrible with the social media stuff. I've got a set on how terrible I am about it. It's become a joke. My children are like, my daughter's like, "Stop telling that joke." I was like, "I love that joke." She's like, "Stop." And
Stop,
so
Mom.
if I'm embarrassing them, I'm doing good.
You're doing something right.
I'm doing good. But like my son, he introduces himself and holds his hand out to
Wow.
shake their hand, and I'm like, who taught him that? Like he's a young gentleman,
Mhm.
and he's a foot taller than me.
Is
It's
he really
weird.
already?
2 out of 3 are bigger than me now. Like the other one we're eye
Where's
to
he
eye
working?
like this. Hammock Beach.
Good for
They're
him.
both at Hammock Beach.
At
He's
14, you were
14.
there?
That's right.
That's where he's probably learning it because you have to use your surnames.
I
you're-
have right, and I'm like,
Very big deal.
I tell them all the time. I'm like, look, you want to use their names as often as
Mhm.
possible because when Christmas comes around, they might send you a little bonus.
Mhm.
Watching their kids. That's what they're doing. They're in the kids group, working in the kids
Oh.
group.
Well, see,
So-
he's getting a very good exposure to
Yeah.
how the world works
Yeah.
and respect, and not to be a schmuck.
Yeah. And I
Yeah.
told them, I was like, I'm going to be doing this kid comedy night event as a fundraiser to help.
Does something like that interest them, or is it like
They're
nah?
looking at me and I'm like, you all are my children. Like you all are going to have to
You
get
have
up
to
there.
go.
And my youngest, she's very animated and she's wild. I mean, and everything, but she won't go up to the counter and ask for an extra napkin. I was like, you got to speak to people.
Right.
Like you, and she's going through this phase right now where she's like, you want me to ask for it? And I'm like,
got to learn.
Yeah. I'm like pushing her to do all this. And so I don't think there's any way that she will get up on a mic, but I'm like, one of my children need to get up and represent, you know?
Yes and no, though. I think I've got a lot of, I learned really young that for me anyways, sometimes your worst resource when it comes to your own business and passion is not family, because they don't care. You think, Camille, like somebody asked me a really funny question. We were on the phone the other day. It was one of those good uppercut compliments. Like he called me, blindsided me. It was late. And he was just telling me, bro, just really, really nice things. And it wasn't about me. It was just what I'm working on. And he's seen me from the bottom to the top, if you want to call it that. This has nothing to do with fiscal. It's just him seeing me work hard. And he goes, what's Camille think about all this? And no one's asked me that this whole time, the show.
What she think about your podcasting?
Yeah.
Is that what you call it? Can I say podcasting?
I don't know what it's called. I don't even know what to call it anymore. Like, because I have the flaglerpodcast.com because you have to, you can't have Bosses Online having a sip with, that's still kind of what I'm using is because that's how it started was really, we were just supposed to sit down and have a sip and Bosses, blah, blah, blah. But you can't say that to somebody at Turtle Shack today. Like, go check out Bosses Online. So I boiled it down to flaglerpodcast.com. So that's just like easy to, hey man, because everyone, just like you did today, like, hey, how can they find this? flaglerpodcast.com. Easy peasy. But I don't know she's, it's funny. I asked her that because I answered the question to the dude. I was like, I think but
you're like, you didn't even,
I think but she still hasn't even answered me. I asked her, I go, what do you think about all this? And just like what probably anybody who loves you before and going to love me after, she's kind of like, she hates when she's got to go in the dungeon. She's got to go, because look, she's in the back room.
No, she left.
No. Oh, she did leave? She'll leave. See, she has an exit.
Oh, I thought I saw her
Stage
out
left.
there. I see.
She leaves the door open, comes out. Don't get me wrong.
She got her margarita.
She has her.
Took off. She's like, I am out of here.
She has her rhythm, but she always, because look, we're at my kitchen table. So she'll be here and I'm like, babe.
Podcasting.
I like that.
I'm podcasting. I know. When I first started this and I would tell, my ex-husband, I was like, well, I got to work. And he's like, oh, is that what you call it? Because I was going to have fun. And I was like, yeah, it's my job. It's my job. And he's like, oh, okay. Because I really wasn't making any money doing it. And I was like, I'm working. I was like, can you keep the kids tomorrow night? Or,
Baby goats.
changing the schedule to accommodate my work schedule. And he's like, that's what and I was like, yes, it is. But that's I get to have fun at work.
But that's always been when I was 16, 17, I started my little clothing business. Nobody cared. My friends and family didn't care. I thought they were going to be my best customers at first. They were like, I know. Bro, let me wear it for free. And I'm like, oh, I see what's going on here. So I learned at a very young age, you don't look at family and friends as your resource. Like, if there will be people out there that probably appreciate your product, and that's not that they don't appreciate it. And I love my family and my friends that do, but it's not for, like, I didn't start it, my businesses and my ideas looking for the, approval of them.
Yeah, it's for you. And you know what? And I don't know if I said this before, but I am very grateful that, first of all, having me here. So hopefully people will get the word out that there's comedy in town and all over the place. But I've met a lot of people in this community and feel like getting to know your neighbors a little bit, like people that I knew, but then just sitting there talking to you, finding out personal things. So, I mean, I said a few personal things here that maybe people didn't know, or maybe they don't care to know. I don't know. But I think it's, and you're doing it all in Flagler County. So we're growing here. I like to know the people
a lot, because not only you helped me internet you, which is that's obviously how I pay my bills. And I was very appreciative when you hollered at me. I was excited.
I know. Well, I've had a few people say, why aren't you on there? Why aren't you? And I was like, I don't know. And I'll see your podcast pop up, and I'll start watching. If I'm getting ready or something like that, I can just put it on my phone. I do know how to do that. And then I'll just walk around the house. I'll take you in the bathroom and watch.
I've been in your bathroom.
You have, and with Carla Klein, it was the day she was on there. I loved her.
Something else.
I did. I loved that podcast. I don't know that episode. I don't know.
I don't know really I think we have. That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It's like when people started blogging and now it's not called blogging anymore. It's like content production.
Is it? See,
Yeah.
I don't know
So
all
it doesn't
that.
really. I'm sure we're
I'm
probably
not up to
already
date on the
behind.
slang.
Me neither.
Or anything like that.
But I think we did really good.
Okay, well, let's wrap it up. I'm going to tell one of my little jokes.
Hit it
Not
now.
really a joke anymore when I'm just trying to, let people know if you do want to find me on social media. Okay, so this is, my kids hate this one. I love it. So if you're in your 20s, you can find me on Snapchat. Cristy B Comedy on Snapchat. It's Cristy. If you're in your 30s, I am on Instagram. Cristy B Comedy on Instagram. Anybody in their 40s or 50s, obviously on Facebook. That's where you're going to really find me. If you are in your 60s, my email address is christybcomedy@yahoo.com. And if you're in your 70s or above, I've got some self-addressed stamped envelopes, so you can write me a letter. I offend a few people. I offend a few people in that, but I love it. All age groups, I hope, come to my comedy shows and laugh and have a good time. I'm terrible with names, and I just want to put that out there. So if I've met you, I ran into somebody the other day, and I was like, "It was nice to meet you," and they're like, "It's nice to see you again, Cristy." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Yeah.
And they knew my name,
happens.
and I felt really bad. And I was like,
You didn't fake it though. You didn't go like,
I used to do that, but now I'm honestly saying, look, and I wish this was a joke, but I'm really starting to suffer with a little bit of memory loss, and I wish it was a joke, but you can trigger my memory. I'm truly afraid that I might one day be that person that just, I hope I'm still just happy, not knowing what the heck is going on, but I'm fearful of that. But I'm not mean. I just sometimes I don't remember actually meeting someone.
Just
I might meet 30 people in one night and stuff and have a brief moment and stuff. So if somebody's like, "Oh, remember that time you were drinking?" And I said, and then I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I remember. We were at Finn's." If I met you at Finn's, I'm probably not gonna remember.
Never remember you. Maybe their activity. Maybe the back flip or the front flip or the approach. You know what though? I've noticed I have to do this a lot. You know how many times during a show you did it 3 times today, and you say a name or a person, and if you ask me such and such, and I'll say not familiar. You gotta be. Boils down to the no thank you. Know. For those that haven't said no thank you in my life, you're weird. Just say no thank you. All of you, whoever you are.
Yes.
Even in all, not just with me, I'm just being selfish because it's my little show. But if someone asks you to do something and you just don't respond in any capacity, whether it's digital.
Would you like to go out to ice cream? No, thank you.
No, thank you. It's such an underrated, and if you're still one of those guys or people that just, it's so weird. Just say no, thank you.
Yeah.
You said 5 people right now that need to say no, thank you. Answer the text message, weirdos.
Yes. You know what else people need to say? You're welcome.
Oof.
This is something that I like to do now. After a show or before a show, I get up and I see everybody and I'm like, "Hey, I just want y'all to know you're welcome."
Oof. I like it.
If you forget to say thank you, you're welcome. Because I'm about to put on a really great show and I just want you to know that you're welcome.
You're welcome.
So I love
all those things that we just kind of grew up with, the golden rules and laws of humankind, they are starting to kind of, I had somebody the other day didn't even say thank you after a nice long day of fun and joy, but their head's in the clouds. Yeah. So I gave them a free pass, but I got home and I was like, "Babe, that was a little weird." It's the thank yous, but I'm really, mine right now is the no thank you.
Yeah.
It's so weird when people would rather make up some lie. They can't, you know what I mean? I can't.
You're right. Just get right to it.
Just no thank you. So trust me, the recipient is not usually happy. I'm not saying it's great. It sucks, but I love the no thank you. Because I'm getting approached more and more about people that want to come on my show. But I have a lot of people that I'm aggressively seeking out, and they all know who they are. But the no response factor is
respond, say no thank you, or say yes. Actually,
but it does make me feel. I like that though, because I think I recharge when I realize how dumb I am, because I don't want to be always told "Oh, you're great," which doesn't have that much. But when it does feel good. But I do like sometimes to hear that, "Hey man, that was really stupid jersey you put up." Things that maybe
from
wasn't
the
cool.
Soccer drug addict. Coke
he's
guy.
not-
That was
this guy was the drug addict.
that was
The one who likes the jersey is a cool soccer friend
okay.
of mine.
Not the,
See how we did there?
Yeah.
But see, we could do this all day.
Well, he's happy, and then maybe somebody else will be like, that was a little,
Well, I've got people that want to pay me to put stuff on the couch.
Oh,
I
I'm
know.
gonna put a Cristy B comedy
thing, but I'm afraid if people start paying me and giving me money, then today, what if I was like, yo, gotta go live? I'm freaking out because now people are paying me to do something like this.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I didn't want to do it. I had a lot going on, and they were so kind, and you let me move it to today.
Yeah.
What if someone was like, I paid for the show yesterday? I'm like, oh no, man.
Yeah.
So I have to. I'm kind of, not to sound weird about it, but I really am praying about it a lot.
Well,
It's a lot. It's on my heart because people are starting to ask, and I don't know really sincerely what to say or do. So
no,
unless
thank you.
I have clear. yeah, amen, sister.
I'll
Preach
think
it.
about it. How about I'll think about it? I'll look at my calendar.
I have said that.
I'm not near my calendar right now.
One of those calendars.
You've got to have it. You've got to have it. And old school is good.
I
can always say that I'm not next to my calendar right now, but if you can hit me up tomorrow, instead, maybe I should be like, no, thank you. I do have some comedians, and I'm just like, you're not gonna. It's not gonna work for my crowd. Very few, but some of them, I'm like, no.
Yeah, but that's okay. You know what you want them to succeed too. It's not just. But actually, anybody that has reached out to you and you're not by that calendar, it's a fact. I mean, that's unless you
now
it's not. I mean, that's not easy to bring around.
If it's not on that calendar, you're not booked.
You're not booked.
You're not booked. So
all right, and so let's do this. Let's have a follow-up one in the next coming months, years, however it happens.
I should have my schedule
sincerely, where you won my heart over amongst many other things is the kid zone thing, whatever it's going to be called, your kid comedy world.
My kid comedy night. My kid comedy night, baby goat night.
That wouldn't offend kids. That would be a great.
And that, like I said, I do need help from the community.
Yeah.
I need help.
I think you're going to get it.
Even the uniforms and stuff like that. Even if we have, like, my kids have grown out of all of my son, I'm like, he's got another week left, and he's grown out of everything, like school stuff. So what's that?
Can't believe he's taller than you already.
He's so
in the water.
Tall. He's getting so big. It's weird. Like, I'm looking up at my baby boy.
Go to your room.
I know. And he makes a joke out of it. He's like, Mom, I look down on you. And I was like, that doesn't really sound good. Like, he's literally.
Are you now fit? Wait, your youngest has got to be. We're
face to face. We're eye to eye right now.
You're losing your height advantage.
Yeah. But I think I'm also shrinking. Like, I'm almost 50.
It's happening. I know. Tell me about it.
Going on it. And it's happening.
You know what, though? Let me be really egotistical. We look good, though. We're doing
look great.
it. We're killing it. Hey, thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Let's finish it up here.
Enjoyed the show.
Bam. Hold on now.
I wish I could. Are we still on?
We're still on. Well, now we're off of Facebook, but you want to?
I would have adjusted a little bit.
No, you did fine.
Better.
That's the point of